Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week we have 8 incredible watches for you guys and girls, another small drop, and I'll explain why shortly. Now, as always, if you are new here, every Saturday we release new watches on the website, somewhere between 8 and 12 watches, 9:30 AM UK time, and we have this video that goes along with it, as well as the Instagram post. And under the points of mention there's a pesky fly, hopefully that goes away, apologies for the distraction. And as always, under points of mention on every watch, there is a link to additional photos as well. And down in the description is the link to every single website, as well as a timestamp to skip to that specific watch. So let's say you're here just to see this incredible Cartier, you can jump straight to that one. Now, if you're watching this when the drop comes out, you'll be watching this on the 31st of August. And as a lot of you know who have been following for a while, my son is due to be born on the 23rd of August, Friday the 23rd, so just over a week before this video goes out. Very confusing because I'm recording this on Wednesday the 21st of August, so I'm recording it well in advance, and I've done my best to rush together a few drops of incredible watches for you all, and that's why the past few drops there's been less watches in them, so I've split them out to make them last longer. And the reason being, I just wanted things to continue in the background as normal every single week, so that way you still get your drops, the videos still go out, and I still get my time with my family as normal. It just means extra work in the short term to have that sort of freedom for the longer term. And I want to thank you all. You've all been absolutely amazing. The orders have been flowing in, which has been incredible. And as I say, I'm in on Wednesday the 21st of August right now to record this video. And I'm also in to ship out your orders, which has been insane, the amount of orders you guys have been doing. Thank you again. And you're watching this on the 31st of August. All being well, if everything went smoothly and everything's going okay, I will be in the following week, slowly coming back to normal. So probably 2 or 3 days that week commencing 2nd of September, and then the following week increasing it until we're back to normal, 5 days a week with my normal times. We've just got to figure out what a new life looks like with 2 children, and sort of go from there really. Anyone with children, and most people in general, can appreciate that we've got to figure that out whilst also running the business as normal. So yeah, thank you all very much. Very exciting times ahead. As I say, 2 days until our son should be born. It's an induction, meaning my wife is going to be induced at the hospital. So he should be born that day or the day after. At least we've sort of got a plan in place, and it's been an absolute roller coaster. My poor wife has been in slow labour now for almost a month, which is I mean, she's a warrior, she's a trooper. Women are built differently to men. There is no question about it. They are absolute warriors. As men, we couldn't do what those women do, that's for sure. So anyway, enough of that. What's on wrist? I am wearing a very cool watch that I picked up. This is actually the Radcliffe and the Mad Watch Collector collaboration piece they did, called the Mad Hacker. It's based on obviously old military watches, sort of the Dirty Dozens and the W10s and things like that. Really, really cool. Screw down crown, manually wound. Just a cool watch, and I think it was £295 or something like that. I paid just like everyone else. I've posted it a few times and people have been like, you know, why haven't you put promotion on there? It's like, what do you want about? I paid for it, it's in my collection. I pay for all my watches, just like everyone. No one sends a watch deal of watches usually anyway. So this is my watch. I enjoy it, it's very fun, and I think it sold out pretty quickly as well. So yeah, that's what's on wrist. Now let's crack on with what you're here to see now as the watch is on the table. And we're going to start with this incredible 18 karat rose gold Cartier Santos de Cartier, as it's called, with the larger model with the full gold bracelet. This weighs a ton, and it has the strap and gold buckle as well. So let's take a closer look. So starting this week off with the absolutely incredible Cartier Santos de Cartier larger model in 18 karat rose gold, as you can see, with that striking and iconic white dial, exploding Roman numerals, date down at 6 o'clock, and automatic also stated at 6 o'clock. You've got blued hands, nice blued sword hands, and a polished bezel with the screws, again as you'd expect from Cartier, and the lovely Santos case, which is exquisite with the polish and brush sides, leading to a cabochon set crown right there at 3 o'clock. And then you come on to the bracelet, which again, iconic Cartier Santos individual link bracelet with screws and a push button open clasp like so. This model does feature quick release on the bracelet, and it does come with the Cartier strap and deployant 18 karat rose gold buckle as well, and all signed case back again as you'd expect, and inside is the automatic Cartier caliber 1847MC. This is the reference WGSA 0018 and it's from April 2022. With its box and paperwork, and the inner sleeve part of the box that the watch sits in is unfortunately missing. It was apparently sent that way from the retailer that the gentleman bought it from previously. It can happen. I mean, sometimes people forget to include things or lose things. It happens, but it has got all of its original paperwork, the strap, the buckle, all the important things, and it'll obviously be shipped nice and securely regardless of that inner part. But just think, obviously, we have to state. So if you're after a full gold Cartier in general on a bracelet, your options are quite limited, and with the hype Cartier is on at the moment, to be able to pick one of these up at a huge discount on retail is amazing. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Now, as I mentioned, this is the larger model size, so if you're after the bigger Santos, this is the one. And it is in worn condition, but not overly worn at all. A couple of hairline scratches on the polished bezel, which again you'd sort of expect, and we can have those buffed out on request if you wish. But the watch is 40mm by 47.5mm lug to lug, 9mm on the thickness, and 21mm at the lugs. So go check out this incredible watch on the website today. From there over to a watch I have sold before and I very happily took back in part exchange. This is the Rolex GMT-Master Pepsi, GMT-Master 1, not GMT-Master 2, 16700 with the faded Pepsi bezel. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now for the Rolex GMT-Master 1 reference 16700. So as I mentioned, this is the GMT-Master 1, not the GMT-Master 2. Let me see if this gets in focus. And what the main differences there are is this features the automatic Rolex caliber 3175, which the GMT hand is coupled to the hour hand. What this means is when you change the time on the watch, it will always show your local time, which is like the Explorer and also the first generation GMTs. So hopefully that makes sense. And the second position will change your date as standard. I apologize for the camera not staying in focus. It's quite difficult to stay still. So there you go, that's how it works. So you can't independently change the GMT hand to show two time zones. You would be using the rotating bezel to do so, as pilots used to back in the day with the GMT-Master 2 or GMT-Master 1, sorry. So hopefully that explains it. This watch is from circa 1991 with no box or paperwork. It does come on its original bracelet, which will fit around a 7-inch wrist, and you've got your plain screw down case back as you'd expect, as I said, with the caliber 3175. The bezel on this one is a lovely original Pepsi bezel, which is faded on the bottom to go this very light pink, bordering on fuchsia, but not quite fuchsia, which is a different colour completely. But yes, it's a sort of desirable thing. And interestingly, when I had this watch in the first time, I had 3 GMT-Master 1s in stock of this reference, and all 3 had varying degrees of patina on the bezel. The first one had none at all. The bezel was pristine and completely perfect with all of its colour. Then there was one that had a very slight fade, and then there was this one with the most aggressive fade. To me, I love them all, but for me, I actually think I really like this one, especially on the pre-ceramic cases. That fade just makes it look more like a vintage watch. And obviously this one being from 1991, you do have tritium dial and hands as well, which is very nice. So this is of a generation that will continue to age. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, fitted to my 7-inch wrist. It looks very nice. And as always, these 40mm cases wear very well. Rolex know what they're doing with proportions. So this is 40 by 46.5mm, 11mm on the thickness, and 20mm on the lugs with drilled lug holes, because this is the generation that still has them, to make strap changing nice and easy. So go check out this gorgeous watch on the website today. From there over to an unworn and fully stickered Breitling Navitimer 806. This is the 1959 re-edition, probably one of the best 806 re-editions they've done. So if you're after a vintage 806 but want all of the modern reliability, this is the one for you. And it was limited to 1,959 watches, and I'm pretty sure they sold out very quickly. And this is one of probably the last few fully stickered ones out there. So let's take a closer look. Now for the Breitling Navitimer 806 1959 re-edition. So for those of you that don't know, the Breitling 806 is probably one one of the most iconic Breitling references, and it's one that people most desire. I've been fortunate enough to have a few of them over the years, slight different variations to them, and this has the Breitling winged logo at 12 o'clock. We'll start the chronograph and you can see that move out of the way. Where you can see all the rest, you've got your slide rule bezel as you'd expect, and all of your markings on the inner side to sort of monitor everything. You'll have to excuse the noise in Clerkenwell, it's always ridiculous. So yeah, this was released I believe in 2019 and it sold out fairly quickly. This is limited to 1,959 watches altogether. I won't bore you with the actual reference, it's a very long reference, you can go see that on the website, but it's one of the most true re-editions Breitling have done of the original 806 to date. So if you are a fan of the vintage but want the reliability of modern, which I get it, some people really want the modern watch and all the bells and whistles that come with that, this is the one I'd recommend. As I say, this one is still fully stickered, so you've got the stickers on all of the lugs still present and the sticker on the case back, and that is the sort of classic sign case back behind the sticker, and inside is a manually wound Breitling caliber B09, and this one's from November 2019 with its box and paperwork, which is the nice little compact Breitling box. I think more brands are moving over to smaller boxes and I am all for it. The actual sleeve that this sits on doubles up as a watch pouch basically, which is very convenient. So this watch hasn't been worn, it's been left in its box, and that is what the crease in the strap is from being fastened in the box, and it comes with its original buckle as well. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see, really nice proportions at 41mm by 48.5mm lug to lug, 13.5mm on the thickness, and do keep in mind quite a bit of that thickness is coming from that heavily domed sapphire crystal, which emulates the old acrylic crystals that used to be used, and 22mm on the lug, so endless options for swapping this one out if you so desire. So go check this one out on the website today. Now we've got two Omega Constellations. These actually came from two different places and just so happened to come in at pretty much the same time, and I believe I have another couple of Constellations on the website as well, so if you are interested in Constellations, I have a few. So let's start with this one, which is a Constellation Co-Axial 27mm. This is mother of pearl and diamond dial with the gold on the case. A really lovely watch from 2017. So let's take a closer look. Now on to a 2017 Omega Constellation automatic coaxial with a very attractive, if I can get it in focus, because there's so many lights bouncing off this thing, mother of pearl dial with diamond indices, as you can see, and it also comes with its diamond certificate card stating the diamonds and the clarities and all that kind of stuff. But that mother of pearl is beautiful, and the gold accents on the inside date over at 3 o'clock, and you have the stainless steel case with the Roman numerals and the gold bars at the side. Original Omega sign crown as you'd expect, and the iconic Constellation bracelet. Push button clasp with a gold Omega logo right there, opens up as such, and a exhibition caseback showing one of Omega's smallest movements in there, or at least one of its smallest modern movements. That is an automatic Omega coaxial caliber 8520. Now I won't bore you with the reference to this watch, as always with Omega, very long reference, but this one's from July 2017 with its full box and paperwork, and we've just got it back from a light polish with our polishers, and it looks absolutely fantastic and ready to be worn and enjoyed again. Something like this would make a beautiful gift for someone as well. Obviously the size of this one, which we'll show on wrist in a minute, being 27mm, it is considered a ladies watch, but at the end of the day, if you're comfortable wearing a watch of this size, do it. Who cares? Wear what you want. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here it is on my 7-inch wrist. Obviously a small watch, but really beautiful nonetheless, at 27mm by 31.5mm lug to lug, 11.5mm on the thickness, and 17.5mm on the integrated bracelet right there. So a really beautiful watch, really beautiful dimensions, and that dial is gorgeous. So go check it out on the website today. Now on to the other Constellation. This is again a coaxial Constellation, steel and gold bit in 35mm, no mother of pearl and no diamonds, obviously the larger size in 35mm, and the earlier coaxial movement as well from 2011. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to another Omega Constellation coaxial, this time a 2011 teen model. Again, I won't bore you with the reference, you can see it on the website, but this is the steel and gold reference with that very attractive silver dial and the gold baton indices, and date over at 3 o'clock. Iconic Constellation star down there at 6 o'clock, and the full gold bezel with the gold bars through the bracelet and the crown. Now for size difference, I'll show you these two side by side. The one on the left is the one we just looked at, 27mm. This is 35mm. You can see what a difference that makes in size, just those few millimeters. So if you are wanting something a bit bigger, I would recommend this one. And again, something to keep in mind with integrated bracelet watches is they wear bigger than their dimensions will lead you to believe. So watch, this is 35, it certainly wears a lot bigger than 35, but still very comfortable on the wrist. As we say, integrated bracelet. This watch we haven't had polished, but it's in very fair condition. Obviously scratches here and there, and we can have it polished on request if you so desire. And inside there is one of the early Omega coaxial movements. That's the coaxial caliber 2500. This one's from December 2011 with its full box and paperwork, full links, everything with it, ready to be worn and enjoyed. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go. On my 7-inch wrist, I would be very comfortable wearing this watch. Size wise, I think it's very, very nice, very comfortable. 35mm by 41mm lug to lug, 10.5mm on the thickness, and 22mm at the top point of the integrated bracelet. So go check this one out on the website today, and the value on this one is incredible. We have a few Omegas on the table today, clearly. So now on to an Omega Aqua Terra. This is the Seamaster Aqua Terra GMT 43mm with that very iconic Aqua Terra dial. A really great watch, so let's take a closer look. Now on to the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra GMT in 43mm, a very attractive watch, obviously on the larger side. So for those of you that like a small watch, this probably isn't for you, but it is surprisingly comfortable and actually quite compact on the wrist. Whilst 43mm is 51mm lug to lug with those curved lugs, which make it very compact and comfortable. You've got that iconic Aqua Terra dial with those lines throughout, the applied Omega logo, the GMT tracking on the inside with a small red tip GMT hand very nicely incorporated with the design, and as well as the date at 6 o'clock. You've got the brushed and polished case with the polished center links in the bracelet, signed screw down crown at 3 o'clock, and that iconic Aqua Terra case profile as well. As we flip it over, you're presented with a push button release clasp where you have to pull the opposite side. It's almost always the same on the Omegas, and a exhibition case back right there, showcasing the automatic Omega caliber 8605. I won't bore you with the reference, go see that on the website if you are interested. But this watch is from the circa mid to late 2010s, so likely somewhere between 2015 and 2019 is where this watch is from. The reason we don't know exactly when the watch is from is because it comes with its box and cards, and the only card that is missing is its international warranty card, which is where they sign the date on the card, but it comes with its pictogram and its coaxial card as well. Unfortunately, sometimes cards go missing, it can happen, but the rest are also serial matched, which the serial's on the underside of one of the lugs, so we know it is for this watch. Hopefully that makes sense. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist, as you can see. So definitely no small watch, but it does actually wear quite nicely and it fits the wrist at 43mm by 51mm lug to lug, 14mm on the thickness, and 21mm on the lugs. So go check out this awesome watch on the website today. And then onto a beautiful 1968 Omega Seamaster Cosmic. This is the date model with a crosshair dial and the reverse Cyclops crystal, which is the original Omega crystal on the beads of rice Omega bracelet. You can't really get better than this, so let's take a closer look. Now onto a vintage Omega Seamaster Cosmic automatic date with the crosshair dial and the ever so slight linen texture to the dial as well. Really, really beautiful and a great example as well. As I mentioned in the intro, it has the reverse Cyclops on the crystal. So what that means is the magnification is actually on the underside of the crystal, which is a common complaint from people with Rolex, is that it sticks out. Some people don't like it. Omega put it on the underside on this reference and a few others, and it has the Omega etched logo at the center of the crystal if you look closely and get the right light as well. So a really nice example, beautiful dial and handset, and a very nice case as well. You've got that radial finish with the polished sides, Omega sign crown, and then the beads of rice bracelet, which are incredibly comfortable. Obviously they do have play in them. They were pretty much made with play in them, and that was part of the comfort, but obviously as they get worn and they age, they do get more play. The folding clasp with loads of micro adjustment on it, so you can get that perfect fit. And as we flip it over, you're presented with the seahorse on the case back with the reference stated and the tool required to basically open the watch. So as you can see, there's no screws or anything to open the watch. It all comes out the front of the case. So there's a tool that basically grips hold of the crystal, squeezes it because it is plastic, and releases it from the case, where the crown can then be removed and everything sort of comes out the front. So we call this a monocoque case. And yeah, that's how it works. This is a reference 166023. Inside, behind all of that closed case back, is the automatic Omega caliber 565, which is manually wound automatic first position. So this is something to keep in mind. First position is where you change the time and date, and the second position is to pop the date. So you want to make sure you're not in the date change position already, and then you basically pull it out, and if I can get it right, 1 second, there you go. You can see the date change like so. It pops in and out. You got to get that right bit, and that's how you change the date. So do remember that. I often forget when I pick up the watch for the first time after a while, and I go to pull it out all the way like I would any other watch, and you change the date, and you're like, oh, and then you have to go back. So just keep that in mind. This watch is from circa 1968. Obviously no box or paperwork would have mentioned that, but it does come paired on the nice bracelet, and it's ready to go and be enjoyed. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And the watch will fit up to a 7-inch wrist. Here it is on my 7-inch wrist, very comfortably, and it looks fantastic. Obviously this watch would also look great on leather straps if you are interested as well. So this is 33mm by 36mm, but it wears a hell of a lot bigger, and it looks bigger than that as well. 9.5mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lugs. Are endless options for straps with this one. So go check it out on the website today. And last but by no means least, I've been fortunate to get another one of these. This is the Jacques Bianchi JB200 Pole Pro Blue limited edition. And yeah, really cool watch. Reverse crown and the awesome octopus on the dial. So let's take a closer look. Now on to the Jacques Bianchi. This is the JB200 Pole Pro limited edition blue with the octopus on the dial and the left hand crown, and the bezel is loomed as well. I was just playing around with that. You can probably see it just about if my camera picks that up. So really cool watch, and definitely a quirky, fun design as well, with that blue color, blue rubber strap, which is all original, and it comes with its box and paperwork from December 2023 with the extra stitch patch as well if you want to put that on some piece of clothing or something. Really cool design. As we flip it over, you're presented with the screw down case back, all the details, and this is number 28. I don't know exactly how many they made. If I do, it will be on the website, so do give that a read as always, because as a lot of you know, these videos are done completely off the cuff with brief details in front of me, like the dimensions and the reference and movement and age and that kind of stuff. Everything else is on the website. So inside that closed case back is an automatic Soprod caliber P024. Soprod are another Swiss brand making great movements like Le Jeu Perret, Solita, ETA, and so on. So if you're after a fun design dive watch from a brand that seems to be doing really great things at the moment, I would highly recommend this one. This is a great holiday watch, and it will certainly put a smile on your face. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. As always, these cushion cases wear very well and are super comfortable, and not having the crown anywhere near my wrist is surprisingly comfortable as well. So if you're after comfort, this is definitely one. 42.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, 12mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. So endless options for this one. So go check it out on the website today. So there you have it, guys and girls, this week's drop, 8 incredible watches. Let me know down in the comments what's your favorite. I think for a lot of people it's probably going to be the Santos, maybe the Rolex. I, as always, can justify every single watch on the table. I love them all in their own right, but for me, I think it has to be the Cosmic Date. I think that's a really great watch. The value for money is incredible, and obviously as a heavy hitter, I mean, this is wonderful, and the saving you get on retail is immense. So let's get these sold. And as always, thank you very much. All being well, there will be a drop next week. I'm working on it as we speak as well, but it's going to be slow running from now. So there may not be a drop on the 7th, it may be the 14th, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So thank you all very much for watching. Thank you again for your support and patience at this time. You've all been incredible, and I can't thank you all enough. And the next time you see me, it will be a James Kibble with 2 children instead of 1. We'll see what that looks like. All right, take care. Goodbye.